So welcome everyone, welcome on board. Today's session is a prerequisite session. We'll just, you get to know me, I get to know you, kind of stuff. But we will be doing an exercise. You get to know your system also. Okay, we'll talk about the prerequisites, what you need to have in your system and what you need to have in yourself to follow along in this course. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so we'll talk about the course prerequisites to follow along in this course, what all you will need. Okay, system prerequisites. You will need a 64-bit computer with high-speed internet, period. Okay, no discussion on that. Okay, please make sure you have any internet problem, fix it, because it's not going to be about just streaming things, attending the meeting, but you will get the later videos that you can watch, and you will be downloading softwares and some plugins, and that takes a lot of time on the internet. So make sure you have good internet speed. It's common everywhere, I know that, but still have some people have problem. 64-bit computer, because yeah, everyone must be having 64-bit, but there are some people who still uses 32-bit, very old computers, so please upgrade them, otherwise it will be a lot of problem. You can still follow along in the course if you have 32-bit system, but you'll have a lot of issues. Okay, you can have laptop, desktop, anything is fine, and operating system Windows 10, Windows 7, MacBook or Linux OS. Any operating system on your laptop or desktop is fine, but we are going to use a tool called as Vagrant for a few days. And you can, it's not mandatory to use Vagrant also, but one thing I want to tell you about Vagrant is in MacBook M1 Metal, okay, Vagrant VirtualBox, the software that we are using doesn't work, so you need to create virtual machines manually if you have M1 Metal. Otherwise, any other operating system is fine. Windows 10, I should remove Windows 7 now because the support is already gone. So if you're still using Windows 7, upgrade to Windows 10, that will be better. Okay, you should have attended the demo session. Okay, if you have not attended, no problem, you will get a link, you can watch the video. The first 1 hour is the demo, and then it's Q&A. If you want to listen to Q&A also, that is also fine, but watch the video if you have not attended the demo session. Okay, can I take a count how many people did not attended demo session? Please put it in the chat that I did not. Okay, you should have also read the first chapter of the Decoding DevOps book. You will get the book link, or some people must have already got this link. So read the first chapter of the book and attend the demo session. Have a clarity of what is DevOps and what we are going to do in this course. Okay, in the middle, otherwise you'll get confused. Okay, you should know your destination, you should know your path. So you're traveling a path, we're going to reach some place, so know where we are going and what is the path we are taking there. Okay, so these two things should give you the information. Okay, and this last two things, demo session and first chapter of the book, you can do by the weekend also. Okay, it's not necessary to do today itself, right? But be ready by Monday. All right, every day this is what we will be doing. So this is a very hands-on course, guys, practical course. We'll be doing things and learning it, not watching and learning. Okay, you're going to watch the session and repeat the exercises, and that's where you need some time to practice. So please schedule some time for practice. For 2 months, for the coming 2 months, 45 days, 2 months, you will be very busy, okay, doing this. And when you practice, you will get errors, issues. Okay, so this is what you should have in you. Okay, not quitting. All right, something is failing, not working, take a screenshot, put it on Google Classroom, we'll talk about it, what is the problem and how we can fix it. Okay, initially for the newcomers who are new in IT or who are new in Linux and operating system knowledge, okay, you'll have a little bit of problem, right? Don't worry, I'm here to help you. I'll give you the steps and solutions, and all you have to just apply it. Okay, have an open mind, use Google as well. Okay, don't always look for help, try to solve yourself first. That's how you will learn. Okay, more problems you get, more better it is, because you learn more. Okay, ask questions to clear doubts. If you have doubts, ask me. If I'm explaining something and you are having doubt in understanding that concept, ask me. Simple. Either put it in the message or you can talk. Okay, or if you want to ask some doubt that is not relevant to the current class, write it down, ask it at the end of the class. I'll give you time to ask questions. Okay, all right, use Google Classroom. We will be creating a Google Classroom for you, and you can post your questions, your doubts, but make sure it's little detailed. Screenshots, commands that you executed, what steps you took to resolve those things. Put everything, as much as information you can, so it becomes easy to give the solution. Most of the things, errors, I already know what are the solutions, right? But you need to be giving little detailed information, so I can quickly give you the solution, you can apply it. Simple. Okay, you can post it anytime. Most importantly, please enjoy the course. Okay, don't also make it one-way communication. Okay, you can talk to me, ask doubts, question, crack jokes, that's fine, all fine. Okay, make sure you enjoy. When you practice, you get results. That's where the more enjoyment is there. Okay, that's how you enjoy. All right. All right, so daily we will be having theory, little bit of theory. Theory is very less. There'll be lab demo. That means I'm gonna show you how to perform an activity. I said that's how you learn. So you watch it, okay, and then you practice, then you repeat the same thing, right? If you got it at one attempt, very good. If you did not get it, okay, things are failing, try to resolve yourself. Not working, post it on Google Classroom and rinse it, remove everything, and then repeat. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay, more you practice, more fluent you will be in DevOps. Okay, so it's all about practice, guys, not about watching. All right, so, well, this I already talked about. Well, these are some tools list. Some tools we are going to install today, some we are going to install as per the schedule. So having Windows operating system, install Chocolatey. Right, Chocolatey is a tool where you can, by using this you can install any software. Like you can say Choco install VirtualBox, Choco install Vagrant, Choco install Chrome or Firefox, like that. Okay, very easy to use tool to install or uninstall software on Windows machine. It's going to work through PowerShell. If you have Mac OS, install Brew. Okay, for both I'm gonna send you the link how to install it. And Brew is same like Chocolatey for Windows. You can say Brew install Vagrant, Brew install this, Brew install that, right? You can install or uninstall software with Brew in Mac OS. We are going to install also a tool, Oracle VM VirtualBox. So all you have to say is Choco install VirtualBox. In Brew you have to say Choco install VirtualBox. Oh, sorry, Brew install VirtualBox. Right? I'll show you the commands. And manually also, today I will show you how to download it manually from the internet and install it, right? From where you can download, I'll show you the link. Uh, if you're having MacBook, you have the terminal, so you're going to use that a lot. If you're having Windows operating system, then you're going to use git bash to execute commands. Git bash is going to be a terminal in Windows. We are not going to use PowerShell or command prompt. You can, but git bash is going to be just a little more easier and comfortable. It has multiple tools in it. So we'll be using git bash to execute our commands. So we'll be installing that. Putty, if you're a fan of Putty, you can use Putty, but not mandatory. You can use git bash with, that can also work. We are going to create a virtual machine today. So we will need an ISO of CentOS 7 and Ubuntu Server 18. Okay, today we'll just install CentOS 7 virtual machine manually and automatically both. We'll be using then a tool called as Vagrant, which can create our VM automatically, virtual machine automatically. Okay, so these are some tools that we will be setting up today. So more tools that you will need is going to be Notepad++ or any equivalent editor. PyCharm, you can install it now or we can install it later when we start Python programming. Anaconda, that is also for Python. Okay, so these are some editors or IDE you can say that we will be using in this course. Some accounts that you need to create. This we will do it later also, but you need to have a Google Classroom app on your phone, so any notification comes to you quickly. If I respond to your chats, your post and anything, or I create any post, inform something, make sure you have the Google Classroom app on your phone. GitHub account we will create. AWS free tier account, after a week we will be creating it. Docker Hub account, and you need to purchase a domain either from GoDaddy or anywhere else. This also I'll tell you later when to purchase, but if you already have, it's nice. If you don't have, you can purchase it. Remember, sometimes it takes 48 hours to activate your domain, so you need to do it at least 48 hours prior to when we need it. So if you can purchase it now, purchase it. Okay, don't go with an expensive one, go with a very cheaper solution for the domain. Okay, Sonar Cloud account, that's optional, that I'll tell you later. So this is what we will be doing now. We will be setting up a virtual machine. Virtual machine, if you don't know what it is, it's like a baby computer inside your computer. Okay, like your computer has CPU, RAM, hard disk, and operating system running on it. Like that, a virtual machine will also have CPU, RAM, hard disk, network, everything, and also an operating system running on it. So we will be installing CentOS 7 now and Ubuntu 18, and then we'll use putty to log into that VM. Okay, once we are done with this, then I'll show you also an automated way to setting this up. First, we'll see a manual way of setting up virtual machine, and then an automated way of setting up virtual machine. Okay, and to do this, we need some tools. All right, and let's get started. Okay, so that's all the theory that we have today, first day, and now let's do some real hands-on. Okay, so to create a virtual machine, you need a software called as Oracle VM VirtualBox. Oracle VM VirtualBox, the third one. Now you can install it through Chocolatey and Brew, but I know many people won't have Chocolatey and Brew installed now, so you can directly Google for this software, download it and install it. Pretty simple. So let's Google. We're gonna say download VirtualBox. Virtualbox.org, that's the download link. Let's click on it. Okay, so you can go with the latest version of VirtualBox, but sometimes you have problems, so you have to downgrade and install an older version. I'll give you the link of older version also if you are having problem. So Windows host for Windows. For Mac OS, if you're using Mac OS, then do not download it from here. I will give you commands in through email today. Use those commands to install VirtualBox. This is only for Windows now. Click on it, download it, and then the same process. Double click, take all defaults, next, finish, done. The software is installed. Okay, I already have it installed because I didn't want to waste your time. So I already have VirtualBox installed, and that's VirtualBox. After installing, just open it, and you will see some buttons here, new, to create new virtual machine. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a new virtual machine. So click on new. Think of this like you're assembling a computer. So what all you will need to assemble a computer? Well, we will need a box. Okay, so we got a box here. We need CPU, we need RAM, we need hard disk, we need network interface. So all those things we'll be selecting. Don't worry, everything will be very default, very simple. So you just need to select next only. First, we give name to our virtual machine. So I will name it as CentOS 7. Sorry, CentOS 7. Okay, that's what I'm going to name my virtual machine. CentOS 7, yes. And here you need to select the type Linux, because CentOS is a Linux operating system. And we'll come to that. What are the different flavors? And Linux is not started, okay? So don't worry too much about Linux. Tomorrow onwards, we're going to talk about Linux. We'll start Linux session. Just give a name, whatever name you prefer, select Linux, and here select Red Hat 64-bit. Okay, now for some reason, if it doesn't show you 64-bit over here, it just shows 32-bit. All right. there could be two problems. One, you have a 32-bit computer and you really can't do anything now. Okay, you have to go with 32-bit only. The other one is, which is very common, most of the people will have 64-bit system, but there is a setting in your BIOS, 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 virtualization technology, that is disabled. If that is disabled, you won't see here 64-bit option. So what you need to do is, you need to get into your BIOS. Now I can't show you my BIOS of my laptop, my computer, right? But this is how, when you boot into BIOS, BIOS VT enable. So different computers will have different button to get into BIOS, right? Find out what is the way to get into your BIOS setting, and get into BIOS. You will see a screen like this. This is text user interface. You won't see any graphical thing, and you may find here a setting, virtualization technology, or VT, or Intel virtualization technology, something related to virtualization. And if that is disabled, enable that, save and quit, and reboot your computer. Okay, once this is enabled, then you can see here the 64-bit option. If you are creating virtual machine for the first time, you've never created virtual machine, then definitely it will be disabled, because most 99% of the computer comes with VT disabled. Okay, for Mac OS, you don't need to do anything. VT will be by default enabled. Okay, for Windows, if you're creating first time VM, it will be disabled. So go get into VT, enable it, and then you see 64-bit option here. Okay, then click on next. Select the RAM. I would say take default. If you want to increase it, then make sure you have enough RAM space on your computer. Okay, I'll go with 1024, which is 1 GB. Next. Create a virtual hard disk now. Okay, fine, create. So it's going to create a hard disk. Okay, go with default hard disk type, VDI. Next. Select keep dynamically allocated. That means I go next, and you see this is the hard disk size. Hard disk here is actually a file. That's the file it's going to create. That will be the hard disk. And that it says 8 GB by default. And you can keep it that much only for now. Dynamically allocated option is, it's not going to reserve 8 GB from this partition. It's not going to reserve. Okay, it will use as much as required, and it can go maximum 8 GB. That's what it means. So keep dynamically allocated and go create. Okay, that created a virtual machine like a bare metal computer. But then the next thing is, we are going to install operating system on that, right? So how do we install operating system on a computer? Well, we boot it from the operating system image file, and we have it burned it on a CD or on a pen drive. But this is a virtual machine. You can't put a CD here, right? But turns out to be there is a virtual CD that you can put it over here, that is called as ISO. ISO is basically a virtual CD. Okay, so this VM, click on settings, and you see their storage. Let me enable the mouse highlighter, guys. Okay, you see storage there, and here you can see that CD option. And here you can attach a virtual CD, but first we need to download that virtual CD, the ISO. CentOS 7 ISO. We have to attach CentOS 7 ISO. So let's find it. This is CentOS 7 ISO on the Google. Don't worry about the links. I will send you all this through email. Okay. So CentOS 7 ISO. Click on it, and you see many links. I'll go with the first link. Right here you have different links to click from where it will download things. You have everything ISO, which is 9.5 GB. That's huge. We don't need this one. We need minimal ISO, that one. Okay, that's around 1 GB of size. So let's click on that. It's going to download the ISO. Let's just wait for a moment. No, don't do it parallelly, Rohit. Okay, don't do it parallelly. You'll get this video, you can do it yourself later. Take your time, okay? Don't be in a rush. Okay, like this, many things we'll be doing, and there are many things. If you just watch and do, you will miss many things, right? It will be practically impossible for me to go with everyone's pace, right? And it will be also very difficult for you to follow along in the course if you're gonna do as I do, right? So watch, learn, then implement. Otherwise, you'll be confused. CentOS 7 ISO is downloaded. It will be in the downloads directory. Okay, so let's click on the VM settings, storage, click on that CD, click over here and say choose a disk file. It's already showing the ISO file, right? But I'm going to say choose a disk file, and in the downloads I can see my ISO. Click on it, put a check mark here and say okay. That's all. We can power on the VM, it's going to come up, but there's also one more thing we need to do, and I need your full attention on this one. When this virtual machine boot, when we install the operating system, we are going to log into it. To log into any computer remotely, we need its IP address. Yes, we need the IP address of the computer if you want to connect it. If you want to connect to a computer in a data center or on a cloud, anywhere, you need its IP address. Even to connect to this VMs remotely, we need an IP address. So IP address is given to the network interface. For example, I open my command prompt, Windows, right? I'm in Windows command prompt and I run a command ipconfig, right? And this should show me all the IP address for my computer. So my laptop IP address is this 192.168.0.174. Now don't worry too much about networking today. This is, if you're understanding this, it's fine. We have a separate networking session where we'll deep dive into these concepts. Okay, but if you can catch it up, good. That's the IP address of my computer. Okay, and it is given to this network adapter, wireless LAN adapter, right? That's the IP address that I got. Like that, our virtual machine also, we need an IP address so we can connect to it. And for that purpose, we're going to click on settings, go to network, and here you have 4 tabs: adapter 1, adapter 2, adapter 3, adapter 4. Adapter means the network adapter, right? If you don't know what's network adapter, well, look at your computer, laptop. It will be having a connector where you can connect the Ethernet cable, right? That's an adapter that you can see. But there's also one more adapter on your laptop if you're having laptop, wireless adapter that connects to the Wi-Fi network. So computers can have multiple network adapters. Okay, multiple network adapters. Virtual machine can have 4 network adapters. Adapter 1 is connected to a NAT network. We're going to click on adapter 2, enable that, attach to, say, bridge adapter, and select here laptops adapter over here. This concept can be little tedious to understand initially. Later we'll see it. Okay, we'll do networking session. Okay, I'm going to explain this. If you understand, good. If you doesn't understand, don't worry. We'll have this later once again. Okay, so the concept is this, guys. My virtual machine adapter 2 will be connected to the Wi-Fi network by using my laptop's wireless adapter as a bridge. That's why it's called as bridge, bridge. So my VM cannot be connected to my Wi-Fi router, but I can use my laptop's network adapter as a bridge to connect to my Wi-Fi network. Okay, what that's going to do? Well, my Wi-Fi router is going to give an IP address to this virtual machine on adapter 2. This is not connecting to the Wi-Fi like, you have mobile Wi-Fi, you connect to the Wi-Fi network, not like that. This is just going to use this adapter as a bridge to connect to my router. Okay, so this routing, this switching, this IP addressing, there's too many things over there. We'll get into that later. But all you need to do is simple, click on adapter 2, put a check mark there, and select bridge adapter, and select your laptop's network adapter. Okay, that's all. Let's say okay. By the way, that is also not mandatory to do today, but if you can do it, pull it, then pull it. If you can't, let me know, we'll do it again. Okay, I think we are ready with everything, and I'm gonna click on start to power on this virtual machine. Start. Okay, so this is coming up. Click on it and hit enter on install CentOS 7. This is installing operating system now. All right. If you people are having doubt on the first day itself, why are we really creating virtual machine? Well, that is because we are going to start learning Linux. To learn Linux, we need to have a Linux computer. So that's why we are creating a virtual machine with Linux operating system. So we can practice Linux. That's it. Okay, we are not learning virtualization or any of Linux or any of those fancy things today. We are just learning how to create a virtual machine manually and automatically, two ways. So we can practice Linux. Okay, so remember one thing, when you click on this console over here, it's going to take your cursor inside. It's going to capture your cursor. Your mouse is not going to come out. It's stuck inside. Okay, if you want to release your cursor, you have to use a right control button, right control. Okay, when you click on this, see, now it is out. Okay, if I click on it, it will also tell you that it is going to capture. Click capture, your cursor goes inside. Okay, my cursor is in, and now the installation has already started. I have to select some options. So first is the language. So I'll go with the English language. Click on continue. Okay, my mouse highlighter is going crazy. I need to disable mouse highlighter. Just a moment. Yeah. Okay, so we need to just select few options over here. It's pretty simple. We have a date and time option, and I'm going to select India here, right, and say done. So it's going to automatically take the time. Then we have, let me scroll a little bit down. Yeah, installation destination, where the installation will happen. So installation will obviously happen on the hard disk of the virtual machine. So let's click on that, and you will see your hard disk of your virtual machine. Click on it and say done. Wait. You will see no disk selected. Click it once again and select it once again and say done. So 2 times. Okay, this will create automatic partitioning. You should see like this, automatic partitioning selected. So automatically it's going to create partitions. All right, let's click on network and host name. Now you see the two network adapter. This is NAT adapter, this is bridge adapter. I repeat, this is NAT adapter, this is bridge adapter. Well, that I know from my experience, but you can also find out. Click on the first adapter and say here on, and it will get an IP address 10.0.2.15. Okay, that's the NAT IP. Remember this, whenever you see this IP, this is NAT IP. You're not going to use this IP to connect to this VM. This will not connect. Click on Ethernet, second one, ENP0S8. Say on. And here you will get an IP address 192.168.0.127. I know I said don't worry about networking, but one thing you can check here is my laptop IP address, first 3 octet, will be same as the VM's first 3 octet. And you see, don't worry about other thing. So this should match. First 3 octet 192.168.0 should match with your laptop IP, 192.168.0. What that tells you? What that tells you that your VM is connected to your router. Yes. Okay. Let's click on other thing. Let's click on this host name part and let's give some host name to this VM. I'm gonna say this is CentOS 7 VM and apply. This will set the host name. Okay, that's it, simple. Let me repeat once again. Date and time, select your time zone and say done. And installation destination, click on it, select your hard disk, say done, and you need to do this 2 times. Right, yeah. Again, you need to select until you see automatic partitioning selected, then click on network and host name, enable both the adapters and give a host name. That's all. These 3 things you need to do, and then you can click on begin installation and it will start the installation. So installation started. It's going to take some few minutes of time, 10, 15, 20, based on how fast is your computer, and it will install and set up the virtual machine with CentOS 7 operating system. All right, now while this is happening, we'll set some users. There is something called as root password. It is saying, let's click on it. Root password. What is root password? Well, root is the admin user in Linux, and we have to set some password to it. And I'm going to set some password to it. Strong password, it says. Good. Right, and say done. And user creation, we can create another user also. Let's click on that, and I'm going to create a user with my name. I'll keep the username as Imran, and I'll put a check mark here, make this user administrator, and I'm going to set a very simple password for this one. And it says this is a weak password, and when it says weak password, you click on done. It will ask you to check once again you have set a weak password. I'll say I'm fine. I'll just click on done once again. That's all. Okay, so pretty simple, guys. Once again, I will show what I did. Click on new. Okay, gave the VM name, sent, I'll say new sent 7. All right, go next, next, create, next, next, create. That's all I did. I explained you all these options, but that's what I did. Next, 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 next. That's simple. And I went to settings, storage, CD, click on that and selected CentOS 7 ISO. And I went to network. I clicked on adapter 2. I said enable adapter. I selected here bridged adapter, and automatically it selected my laptop's network adapter. And I said okay. Then I clicked on start, and it started the installation. And I selected those 3 simple options: network and host name, time zone, and hard disk. And installation started. While the installation is going on, I have set the user also. Okay, so this is pretty simple exercise. You just next, use your common sense, what all you need to enter. Mostly all default things we are going with today. Okay, and this should create a virtual machine in some time. Now by the time this is happening, I will show you one more way of creating virtual machine. But before I go, let me ask you a question. Do you have any doubt in creating this VM? So can you create this virtual machine? I'm gonna send you the video and steps also. Or do you have any doubt? Let me know. All good? Say yes or no something, Am I audible or not?
Yes, what is the difference between password and root password?
Okay. So root password means the root user's password. There is a root user that have a complete privilege on Linux. So that's the root password we are setting. There's already a user. but this user we are creating and setting the password. So that's the difference.
Imran, can you come again? What is those two Ethernets like? I'm not aware. Like
To Ethernet. What to Ethernet? This one, settings,
yes.
network. Okay. So adapter one, every VM in VirtualBox will have a default adapter that is connected to NAT network. So keep it as it is, don't touch it. Adapter 2, you have to select bridge adapter. What this will do, this will get an IP address to your VM, which we can use to connect to this VM from our laptop, from our network. So to connect, in order to connect to this VM, I have enabled second adapter.
Even for the desktop also it will do the same thing, right? Normal desktop.
Normal desktop? No, this is for virtual machine I'm talking about. This virtual machine is going to have two network adapters. This is not going to do anything to your desktop. Okay, this will just get, the second adapter is just going to get an IP address from your Wi-Fi router. That's all it's going to do, in short.
Okay, Imran, actually I installed that first, and I'm getting 64-bit. Like so by default we can get that. Like I'm 64-bit option. So
I'm
I
sorry, I
didn't
did not get your
install.
question.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying like when we configuring starting this, when you were saying that we want to get the 64-bit, but I'm getting that 64-bit option.
You're getting
Like
64-bit option.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's good, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, Imran.
Oh, you are
Address
informed
one,
me. I thought
why,
yeah.
for why address one it is used for?
Oh, sorry, come again.
Address one, can you clear the, can you explain more about address one which you have used to
IP
register?
address, IP address. Okay, don't worry about
Address
IP
one,
address.
no, address one, address two, right? NAT, you have.
Adapter 1, adapter 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So I said, if it's too confusing, don't worry about it. Just all you need to do is go to adapter 2, put a check mark there and select bridge adapter there. That's all you need to do.
Why the adapter one it is?
Adapter 1 is used. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I said. If you do not understand the networking, don't worry. We will have networking session, but all you need to do in today's session is just enable network adapter 2 and select bridge. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry about networking. If I start explaining, it will get very more complicated. For that, you need to have basic knowledge on networking. So once we take networking fundamentals, we will talk about this in detail. All right.
What is the difference between Oracle VM and CentOS?
Oracle VM and CentOS. Oracle VM, what this VirtualBox, this is a software where we are creating virtual machine which is running CentOS 7 operating system. CentOS 7 is an operating system. Oracle VM VirtualBox is a software.
Imran, can I install this VirtualBox on Mac also?
Yes, I will give you the commands through, you will get commands through email. You have to use brewcast to install VirtualBox. That will install VirtualBox for you.
Okay.
Imran, is the CentOS 7 is in Linux operating system,
What
right?
is your name? Is your name Lenovo?
Sorry?
Your name shows Lenovo. Is that your
No,
name or?
myself, Venkata Krishna.
Oh, Venkat.
I think
Okay,
I have
please
not
change your
created
name.
the.
Okay. It
Yeah,
looks
sure.
like a laptop is talking to me. That is kind of very weird, right?
Sorry for that.
All right. Just change your name so I can address you with your names.
Sure.
Imran,
Yeah,
want to understand like how many days this session be in a week? Like days.
Okay, see, go through the demo session. I have explained everything in detail over there. How many days it will be, how many hours it will be, and so it will be every day 1 hour for 5 days a week. Sometimes we'll have it on Saturdays also when we have longer sessions, and it's going to be going total around 2 months.
Okay. And we will get daily recordings like after session also.
You will get what?
Recordings or
Yes, you will get recordings of every session, so you can watch and do it. Don't do it while I am doing it. Okay, at least this few days you can follow, but after that, we are scripting and all those things, so you need to really learn first, right? That's how we do, right? We first learn and then we implement. We are learning and implementing together. Nothing will work. You won't be able to learn, you won't be able to implement. That's why we give you recording. You can, if you want, we have documents recording everything. Okay, so you can follow along, but in the class try to learn first the concept.
Sure. Got it.
Okay guys, this is done. You see that it says complete, and I'm gonna click on reboot. So we have successfully installed CentOS 7 operating system on a virtual machine. That's what we did. That's what we achieved. Installed CentOS 7 operating system on a virtual machine. Nice. So it's booting up. We have to do one more thing.
Like Linux, I mean, this is same as Linux or CentOS?
Yeah, this is Linux. So CentOS is Linux operating system. Okay, I said we're going to talk about Linux from tomorrow onwards. Okay, one thing you have to do, guys, once this installation is completed, you have to go to, after it's complete, okay, not while it's installing, go to settings, go to your storage, ISO, and you have to remove the ISO file. It's like removing a CD from a computer. So it doesn't boot from the same CD. Remove it. Otherwise, the installation will start once again if you reboot this. Okay, so if installation is starting again, power off, remove that CD, and then you should get a login screen. Okay. All right, final things for today. We'll create VM automatically tomorrow. Today, let's just wrap it up. So we get a login screen, and we are going to log into it. So to log in to a Linux machine, we need to enter the username and password. So we have a user called as root. Hit enter and enter the password that you have set, and we are in. Okay, now I'm going to run a command, IP space addr space show. This command will show IP addresses of this virtual machine. Okay. Now let me enable mouse highlighter. Okay. Now, if you remember, while we are creating virtual machine, when we enable the adapters, we got this IP address. Can you please mute yourself? All right. Okay, so ENP0S3, that's NAT adapter. How do I know? Well, check the IP address 10.0.2.15. I told you, you see this IP address, you cannot connect to this IP. You cannot. The next one, ENP0S8. This is connected to bridge, but you don't have any IP address over here. You don't see IP address. That's because it's not enabled, and we need to enable it. Okay, so click on it. Just a moment. NMTUI. I'll just put the command, both the commands in the chat for now because this is a very small screen. So first command was IPADDR show. That's in the chat. So that shows the IP addresses. Then the next command I'm running is NMTUI. NMTUI. That's the command that I'm running. You can see it in the chat. And hit enter. And hit enter, edit a connection. Hit enter there. And you see both your network adapter of your VM. This is adapter 2. Select that, hit enter. And there is this option, automatically connect. It is disabled. So you have to put a check mark on this. So use tab, 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 tab. Yeah, I'm there. And I'm hitting space bar. Space bar. I put a check mark over there. Okay. And then go to OK. Hit enter. And we're done. Go to back and go to quit. Okay. Once again, let me show you. NMTUI. Hit enter. Hit enter. Edit a connection. Select ENP0S8. And wait. This you have to put a check mark. That's all you need to do. Okay, you already see that check mark because I already checked in. Okay, once you're done, you can say okay, and then you have to say back and say quit. Clear. This command is going to clear the screen. Clear command. Now let's run IP addr show, and you should get an IP address 192.168.0.127. This is the IP address that we got. Now we can use this IP address to connect to this machine. Now all your doubts will get cleared about that bridge adapter. I got an IP address. Now I can connect to this VM from my laptop. You will say we are already connected. Well, you are connected. But you're connected through its monitor. You're seeing its monitor. We are going to use a command line tool called as putty. Okay, and that's how we'll connect it to it. So one more tool we are going to install today, which is called as putty. Download putty. That's all. We are done. Almost done, guys. Okay, I just need to connect to it. So download putty, and you need to go with this alternate binary 64-bit putty.exe. Click on it. Okay, so that's downloaded. Let's click on it. Okay, you will get a window like this, and you need to really enter the IP address of your virtual machine there. 192.168.0.127. That's the IP address, the bridge IP, okay? Not the NAT IP, I repeat, not this NAT IP, the bridge IP. Okay, and say open. You'll get a window like this. Just say accept, and then you get a screen like this. Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna change its font. I'll change its font. I'll go to appearances, change, so you can see it a little bigger, right? I'm gonna say 16 bold and italic. Okay, apply. All right. Now this is called as SSH login, guys. For example, you log into your Google account. What do you use? Browser. Right? So I want to log into this Linux machine. I use putty. Simple. Okay, putty is a client, SSH client. Putty is an SSH client. Now enter the username and the password, and we are in. Okay, see the host name. We can run the hostname command. That's the host name. We can run IP addr show command. This will show the IP addresses. Right, so that is the IP address we use to connect to this machine. Now you will say, why not just use console? Why use putty? Well, this is fine if you have VM locally. You can open the console and work on it. But when you have computers remotely located in some data center, cloud account, somewhere else, then you cannot go there and connect the monitor, right? The data center is in US, so you have to travel to US, go to the data center and get to its monitor of the computer, right? That's insane. Well, we can remotely connect like this. We can use the IP address of the computer, username and password, and we can connect to it remotely. Okay, and for that we use putty. There's also one more tool that we can use to connect to this VM, and this we'll talk more about tomorrow about this one, but let's install it first. Git bash download. download. So again, this is for Windows user only. Mac OS, you can just open your terminal and you can do it. Okay, Windows. So it's gonna download Git Bash and then you can install it. I already have it installed, so I'm just gonna open Git Bash. All right, so that's Git Bash, and to connect to that machine, you have to use the commands over here. SSH username. What was the username that I used to log into that machine? You have seen it now. What's the username?
Root.
Root. Okay, so I have to give the username root. @ I have to give the IP address. Anyone remembers IP address of my VM? Bridge IP.
192.
192.168.0.127. Right? 192.168.0.127. Okay, now this is same as putty. Okay. Okay, just a moment. Ignore this one. I will make some changes to some files. Oh boy. Okay, once again. So SSH username @ IP address. Say yes. It'll ask you the password, enter the password, and you are in. Okay, once again, check it. Host name. That's the host name. IP addr show. You can see the IP address. That's the bridge IP. That's the NAT IP. Right? Okay, so what's the difference? Well, Git Bash we can use to execute log in through the command, and putty just gives you a window. But once you log in, it's the same thing. Okay, same commands, you can execute Linux commands. And what are the commands and how do they work? All that we'll see from tomorrow onwards. Okay. But today was this exercise to create virtual machine. That's all. Let me repeat it once again, and then I can take your questions. So I just created a virtual machine. Click on new, give some name, next, 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 all next. Created a VM. Then I have gone to the settings, storage. Well, wait, let me remove this one because this has taken a Windows one. Okay, once again, new. Okay, give some name and Linux, Red Hat 64-bit. Where is Red Hat 60? Red Hat 64-bit. Next, 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 next. That's creating virtual machine. Okay, then settings, storage, ISO, and attach your ISO. Choose disk file, select the ISO, put check mark there. That's all. But one more setting, network, adapter 2, enable, select bridge adapter. That's it. These two settings you need to do. Attach the ISO, enable the adapter bridge, and say OK. That's all. Then power on and start the installation. Once the installation is completed, then you need to open the console like this, log into it, and you need to run the command nmtui, edit a connection, enp0s8, hit enter, and make sure this is checked, and say OK. Quit. Once this is OK, check the IP address. You should see an IP address there at enp0s8, and then install putty, and you can use putty to connect to that machine. Let me open putty once again. 192.168.0.127. Hit enter. The username root and the password that I have set, and I'm in. That's all you need to do today. Okay, now I'm going to open the session for Q&A. You can ask me question if you have any for this process. And yeah, let's begin then.
Yeah, Imran, that ISO comes automatically, right? I mean, we selected.
Yeah, that's what I told you, Rohit. Okay, you have to first watch, then do the exercise. We downloaded the ISO. Okay, I'm going to give you the link also to download. It's CentOS 7 ISO. We click on downloads. Back. CentOS 7 ISO. That's the first link. And you have to go with CentOS 7 minimal ISO. Okay, if you people are interested downloading it right now, I'm putting a link in the chat. I will also send it through the email. So if you want to download it, there's a link in the chat. Click on it. It will start downloading ISO. Okay, so once it's downloaded, then you can attach to your virtual machines. Setting, storage, and you can choose disk file and attach your ISO. Okay, even if this part is not clear, setting up the network, right, then ignore it. Okay, just enable and say okay, and just power on the VM and do the installation. All right, so
Imran, one question. Why are we doing on a
yes,
VirtualBox instead of AWS? Like we can log into AWS and you can directly work on the AWS account. Like, is there any other reason kind of?
that's right. But first we have to learn Linux networking, setting up projects on local. Once our ground zero is strong, then we can do everything on AWS. From next week, we'll be doing everything on AWS.
Okay.
Um, 2020 pass out from IT as a fresher, how it will use to me as DevOps, how it is used to you as DevOps. Well, if you want to switch to a DevOps, if you want to start your career in DevOps, then you can do the DevOps. Okay, but first make a decision. Okay, you keep asking this question to random people, you'll get different answers. How development is better for me, how networking is better for me, how DevOps is better for me. You have to decide what you want to do, set a goal, and then start learning that technology. Okay, so first make a decision. Okay, then we can talk about it. Each session is recorded, and then where to get. Well, you'll have a portal where we'll host all the videos. You can watch it from anywhere. Hassan Linux, that's your last name. Turhal, okay. Because the name in the go-to meeting is showing different. Oh, you'll get the link. Today is the first session. You have to sign up on that. Okay, you'll get the recorded session. Hassan, they will contact you. My team will contact you. Just send them the email address and the phone number so they can contact you and send all the details. Okay. If you have not given your email address and phone number, we won't be able to contact you to send the details, the materials, the book, everything. So make sure you put your email address and phone number in the private chat, organizers chat. Don't send it to everyone. Phone number and email address, send it to the organizer chat right now if you have not done it, so we can send you all the material. Along with development, DevOps for knowledge is better. Right now I have to work in development only for learning part, knowledge purpose I'm learning. Okay, that's fine, Rohit. Okay, interest is always better rather than going with the herd. So good. But this is going to be not as simple as you think. If you want to stay developer and then do little bit of DevOps, I recommend you go through the entire course, and maybe you may change your decision of being into development or being into DevOps, or you can be both also. That is also fine. I'm interested to join and learn DevOps or training. How I get into job in DevOps? Well, why don't you do, Mustafa, one thing you do this, send your contact Malti and send all your details. We have placement batches for fresher where we have already openings, and we train people and we simply place them for fresher openings. So send your details. There is a new classroom batch starting where you can enroll yourself and complete the course and join it as a fresher in job placement. Will you teach 60-day session, or will there be any other people takes other session? No, I am more than sufficient for you, Funny. Okay, I don't need anybody else. Do you need to learn Python for writing Docker and YAML files? Do you need to learn Python for writing Docker files? Why do you need to learn Python to write Docker files? Docker file is not in Python, and YAML is not a programming language. And please put your question in the public chat so other people can also listen. Okay. YAML is a data structure. It's not a programming language. It's a language, but it's for the data representation, but not a programming language. Having Python knowledge will help you write YAML file or understand YAML file much better. So we have Python session. After that, we are going to get into YAML and Docker and all those things. So you don't worry about that. Okay. I'm working as automation test engineer. How DevOps will be helpful for me? Okay. So if you are willing to switch to DevOps, then this course is for you. But if you want to be an automation test engineer, then you don't need to learn DevOps in that depth. Okay, first of all, this is going to be a lot of DevOps. This is going to prepare you for the real world challenges in DevOps. Okay, maybe even change your mind to switch to DevOps instead of automation test engineer. So as I said to everyone, guys, you can ask such kind of question to random people. They'll give you random answers. Make your decision first. What will be your career goal? What do you want to be in next 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or 5 years, and then work on it. Right? Don't give random questions, expect random answer. Different people will give different answer. I'll obviously say that DevOps is amazing, it's awesome, join into it, right? All those things, right? But ultimately you have to make the decision. Maybe you don't want to do DevOps, or maybe you want to do, you don't know. But first set goals, decide for yourself what you want to do. Okay, what I should do, what I should do. If you keep asking people, you'll get different answer. Rather than getting a solution, you'll get more confused. Okay, have a clear mind. Well, Rohit, I have explained in the demo session everything that we are going to cover in this course. So, and you also get an email with the course content and everything, what all we are going to cover, what topics. You can go through that. Do you have placement support for experienced? Depends. Sometimes we get, sometimes we don't get. Okay, mostly we get for freshers. But whenever it is, we just push the resumes. Course content you will get. Okay, after this class ends, you will get email addresses with all the course content and everything. How many years of experience we can claim after completion of course? I'm not gonna answer that, sorry. Remaining members, please drop email. Oh, that's you, Malti. Okay, we will cover AWS, Azure, or GCP also. Well, this is not a cloud computing course, Rohit. This is a DevOps course, and we are going to use AWS. Please go through the course content. you will have better answer. While installation, if we haven't selected the partition properly for the second time, will it be any problem? It won't let you install the operating system itself, because where it will install, it doesn't know. Okay, so you definitely need to select that. Timings for the session, please enter list of the tools covered. Please, will we cover Kubernetes? We will be covering Kubernetes for sure, but this is again not a Kubernetes course. Go through the course content. Well, you know what? The course contains actually multiple slides. Yes, if you are done, guys, you can leave the session. Okay, I'm done. I'm just taking questions. Okay, so you will get this slide. We have the complete course content over here in detail with architectural diagram and everything. So go through it. If you have doubt, you can ask me in the next session about that. All right, so we have step 1, Linux, basic networking, virtual machine. Step 2, AWS. Step 3, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Step 4, scripting, Bash, Python scripting, Ansible, AWS part 2, once again, CI/CD, Docker, Kubernetes, and some projects. Okay, so go through this, take your time, read it, and then you can ask me a question on this. Timing for session, please. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm having 10 plus experience in IT, RHL admin. Coming to DevOps will impact my experience. How good to select the DevOps or any specific path I need to select? Oh, Red Hat admin. Of course, you should be doing DevOps by now. You should have already started. Anyways, it's not late, but definitely get into DevOps. That's the best career growth path for you, for administrators, admins, any admin, Linux admin, Windows admin, any kind of admin or support. Okay, because things will shrink slowly. You will have very, very less administrators or support jobs. So how many years of experience we can claim after? Come on, I'm not gonna answer that question. I already said. While installation, if we haven't selected the partition, okay, I answered that already. For pressure program, what is the duration and the fee charging? Okay, contact Malti. She will help you, Jeevan. How DevOps is good for, if it installed, that means you selected the disk. That's how it installed. It would have installed on the disk. How DevOps is good for non-IT industry people, and will they get good opportunity? Non-IT industry people. Well, once you get the skill, you become IT. Okay, and if you really want to get into IT, then you need to choose something, right? Which career you need to get into. You can get as a developer, as a system administrator, or as a DevOps. These are 3 very common things. Okay, so again, make your decision. DevOps is really good. Okay, it gives good salaries and packages. I have talked about this in the demo session. All right, so go through the demo session. Your doubts will get much clearer. And I answered that. Maybe I got selected in the first time itself. Yeah. And will you teach this course as per real-time scenarios in real-time projects? Okay, please go through the demo session. Most of the questions are here. People who did not attend the demo. When will classroom starts? Classroom, it's a different batch actually, corporate batch, full day batch. It's gonna start after a week. Can we start in certificate preparation and DevOps during course? Gonna be very difficult. Okay, you don't have much time. So I recommend after doing DevOps, then you can start preparing for certification. Right? If you try to do both, one thing is the time, the other thing is the confusion. Okay, so once the course is completed, you would have done you'll have gained a lot of experience, and it will be easy for you to choose the right certification and understand it, prepare it, and go for the exam. Okay, will you guide us? Of course, I will guide you on certification. Okay, I will guide you which certification should you do, which is right for you, which is wrong for you. Okay, this takes 2 months. 2 months, things changes. Right now, I can tell you what are the certification, but again, you'll get confused. Once the course completes, I guide people properly what to do next, what certification to do, what more to learn, which area, which tool you should be focusing. See, one of my job is R&D. I research on latest and greatest tools in DevOps. Okay, and So I I can see the trend. I see look statistics and all those things, and I'm sure I will be in a very good position to give you right direction. Okay, that's one thing I'm very good at. Okay, will it help to complete certification on this? No, certification courses are different. They are exam question and answer questions, course like that. Okay, this is real time implementations, right? So very different. Is AWS and AWS. Okay, Rohit, go through the demo session. Through which channel would be available for any generic questions after the end of the course? Google Classroom. That's what I said in the class. You can use Google Classroom to connect with me. After this course, which role one gets eligible for? DevOps, obviously. DevOps Engineer. There are no like grades in DevOps. Okay, like this is not system administration, L1, L2 like that. So we don't have grades like that. It's just DevOps with this much years of experience gets this much packages like that. Okay, either you can be a DevOps engineer or a lead or a consultant like that. All right, guys. So okay, most of the other question I see is because of you have not attended the demo session. So please go through the demo session video and see the course content, what I'm going to cover, and all those things in detail. And you can ask me these questions again in the next session. All right. So that will be all for today. Thank you very much for attending. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day and night.